In other sports, the All-Star event, a time to take it easy, kick back, relax, but not here, not tonight. Drivers telling us to expect guts racing and a brawl where everybody takes a few more risks than normal. So let's take a look at the field of the Nextel All-Star Challenge. That consists of drivers or teams who have won races through this year or last year and past All-Star winners who are active and Cup champions active. But first, those on the outside looking in still have a chance to make the field. One driver will qualify by winning the All-Star Open, which is coming up in a few minutes. Cars involved in a mishap that in the 4-car Jimmy Spencer was part of.
Yeah, right there you see 41 car Casey Mears breaks the transmission, and Jeremy Mayfield gets in the back of him, and everything breaks loose. You see 21 car, Ricky Rudd getting in the wall. It was just total chaos right there on lap 1.
But it is an all-star event, so these guys, veterans, know how to enjoy themselves. Even those that were out of it, those that were in it. Jamie McMurray on the restart getting in position to win. But still some racing to go. Caution comes out.
At the end of that first segment right there, but right now we're getting ready to go back for the lead. And these are teammates right now. After the pit stop, there was Sterling Marlin taking the lead, but here comes Jeremy Mayfield on the inside of the 42 car, McMurray, and he takes the lead briefly, but then McMurray gets loose coming off the corner.
Great
save. But on the inside, look, here comes his teammate, the 40 car, Sterling Marlin. He takes the lead and takes the win.
The veteran Sterling Marlin, 13 times in the Nextel All-Star Challenge, has never won it, but winning the Open for the 4th time. And let's check in with him. Matt Yoakum is with Sterling.
Chris, the Open starts and ends with excitement. Sterling Marlin, 2 laps ago, third. Describe those final few wild laps.
Well, it's getting pretty wild, Tim. We didn't get a real good restart. Spun the tires, and Jamie had pressure tires and got me pinned down in 1 and got me a little bit loose. And I think I might even went back to 4th and got back by the 43. And once it got clear, we started gaining on them a little bit, and they got to racing side by side. And I said, this is what I want right here. And, it looked like Jeremy was real loose up under Jamie, and Jamie was pinning him down and come up off forward and got together. And, Jeremy turned sideways and got him. And Jamie's doing the death wiggle down the straightaway, the hospital hop's what I call it. But I was hoping he didn't come back across in front of me. He saved it and won the thing. But all the guys in Coors Light, Dodge done a great job, and come from the rear this thing, run second twice. So hopefully we come back and win this thing tonight.
And that was the first thing Lee McCall said after congratulating you. Okay, let's get focused. Let's get back on track. One more event, and that's the big money event.
Yeah, it is. It's car didn't drive really good on the deal. We got in that skirmish on the start and had to go to the back, had to fix the nose on it, and didn't drive real good. Put on 2 tires, and they adjusted our pressure, and it drove really good then. So we'll just play it by ear and see what happens here.
3 times he's come home second in the All-Star event. Hopefully tonight he hopes he can take home that big money check. Chris?
Thanks, Matt. $56,000 Sterling earns for this, and he'll move in. So now 23 drivers set as you look at the unofficial results from the Nextel Open. Still a driver to be voted in. Will Jamie McMurray get the necessary votes? Who else on the lead lap could qualify?
They have changed the format of this race several times over the years. Tonight they'll run 40 laps, including cautions, 30 laps, including cautions, and then 20 green flag laps to settle it. So, Darrell, how do you win this thing?
Well, first of all, it's the anticipation, Mike. Right now, as a driver, you just want to get in the race car. All this hype is exciting. It gets the fans pumped up. But from a driver's perspective, you go into your zone. Right now, you're thinking about what have I got to do, what is the job ahead, and that anticipation about what's going to happen. So a lot of things going through a driver's mind. You can see Jeff's contemplating the start of this race and what are we going to do in those segments.
And Larry, how about the pit crew? In a night when there's so much excitement, can they get too ramped up?
Well, that's what I love, though. It's All-Star Weekend. It's about a team. And even though we have some unusual rules here, like in that first 40 laps, there's a mandatory green flag stop that involves that pit crew between lap 10 and lap 35. You can't make a mistake on that pit stop. It could take you right out of this race.
You may not see the butterflies, but they're there, and they'll be all up and down pit road.
Oh, they really are. And all these things that are happening right now are calming effects. Talking to the driver, and that Rusty was praying with Max Helton there from MRO. These guys are all, like I said, in the zone.
The neat thing about the All-Star Tilt is the rules always have a few little flips and a few little changes in them. And with this green flag stop in the first segment, Darrell, do you want to make it early? Do you want to make it late? Do you want to see what everybody else does?
I'm going to make it as late as I can, I think, to have the best tires I can at the end of the race. But tonight, you normally got a long race, and you can get a second chance.
Let's get out of pit road. Dick Berggren.
Well, Jeff Gordon may start 17th, but he is still a favorite to win this race. After all, he's won it 3 times. He's a risk taker, and this is a race that favors a risk taker. Plus, he's got these guys, one of the very best crews in all of auto racing, and a strong horse under him. And that.
Dick, Terry Labonte would like to add another Winston win, now Nextel All-Star win, to his racing resume. And if he does that, that'll tie him with both Jeff Gordon and the late Dale Earnhardt as the winningest driver in this event. His first 2 wins came 16 and 5 years ago this very day. His last win in this event back in 1999 came from right where he starts tonight, the 13th position. Has a very strong car. He thinks he can take the victory lane tonight. Steve?
Well, Matt, you have to have a strong car, but you also have to have a lot of confidence and desire in this race. Kevin Harvick says winning is the only thing that matters. His team also thinks they can win. They said they had a great test. They've had a great practice session here, and they think they have just as good a shot as anybody to take home that $1 million. Mike?
Thanks, Steve. You know what's funny about Terry Labonte's 2 wins in this race? They both came on May 22nd of their respective years. And what's today's date?
May the 22nd.
Here we go.
So do the math,
right? Let's do the weather.
Let's do the math here on the weather. Just look at this track temperature here, right around 90 degrees. Unique situation here. The only practice these guys got whatsoever was in the middle of the day yesterday, 2 45-minute sessions. Track temperature is probably 30 to 40 degrees hotter than that. What does that mean? More grip, more horsepower, more excitement.
Yeah, I think the cars are always faster, but I've never had the track change or the weather change make my car handle any better. If it's messed up in the practice in the daylight, it's messed up at night.
The results sheet will show that this race is 90 laps, but how you get there is a winding road. 40 laps the first segment, including cautions and that mandatory 4-tire stop that must occur after you've completed 10 laps. All restarts double file. You must complete the segment on the racetrack. That's the Frankie Stoddard rule. You can't make your pit stop on the last lap and then just cross the line. And $75,000 to the leader at the end of the first segment.
Steady, steady. Boogity, 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 boys! Let's go racing!
Rusty Wallace in the 2 car gets a good restart.
Well, Ryan Newman didn't get a good start.
If you notice, Rusty, before he got to turn 1, he jumped in the high groove to get a good run down into turn 1 and 2. But look at the run now. Ryan Newman, his teammate in the 12 car, gets off turn 2. Look at him back there, 3 wide.
3 wide in the middle of the pack and still 3 wide. Robbie Gordon on the bottom. Tony Stewart threads the needle. They're all trying to win it on the first lap.
Well, track position is huge.
Darrell, I think Kevin Harvick, the 29, knew they could not go 3 wide off turn 4. He kind of rolled out in the middle of 3 and 4.
Well, they're 3 wide back here again with Junior down on the inside of Robbie Gordon. But they make it. They all sort it out and get through there. Ryan Newman is coming down that back straightaway. Oh, my gosh, look at that thing. Like it's shot out of a cannon.
Look at Matt Kenseth in the 17 car. He wants to take advantage of it as well.
This is as racy as I've seen Matt Kenseth early on in a race for years.
I mean, they're 3 and 4 wide.
Oh, man, that 32 car tide car bounced off the wall coming off turn 4.
Well, was that or bounce off Robbie Gordon?
Ricky Craven.
Inside. Still inside to 8. Inside. Inside.
Tell you one thing, that 12 car lacks for no power. That thing will go down that back straightaway. My goodness.
Tell you who just really got a good run off turn 2, Greg Biffle in that 16 car. There you see him right there in front of Jimmy Johnson in the 48 car and Casey Kane in the 9 in tow.
Let's go back and see what happened to Ricky Craven up in turns 3 and 4.
He's coming off turn 4 here, and the thing just really, he comes off high. He's got Robbie down under him, and bam.
I don't think it was too awful bad.
No, I think he just, he didn't even pancake it.
Just a few sparks.
He scraped it.
You heard Dale Earnhardt Jr. never rolled out of the throttle.
Couldn't. Might have to push him out of my way.
4 laps complete. Rusty Wallace, Ryan Newman, Matt Kenseth have distanced themselves from the field by 2 seconds. Here's the battle for fourth.
Yeah, Michael's looking under Tony there.
Oh, turn 2, Craven, hard.
I don't know. He'd been running pretty high. Looked like the car wasn't working like he wanted to.
Don't appear a tire went down. Looks like all 4 tires possibly are up. Now, the rules are the same as far as the field freezes under caution.
First caution of the night, completing lap 5. Now, the mandatory pit stop in this segment cannot be made under caution. Ricky Craven will be able to drive it to the garage.
Now, you can make a pit stop under this caution, but it will not count as your mandatory stop. It has to be under green.
And if I was at the back of the pack and my car wasn't very good right now,
backed off.
It'd be a good time to come in.
I come in to visit my crew chief. He just got up out of the groove, and he was running high down here in 3 and 4 and brushed the wall, as we noted, off turn 4. Car didn't look like it was just working the way he wanted it to.
Got loose up there in that middle of the racetrack.
I'd say she was just a little too free. A lot of these guys, in my opinion, they overreact to the nighttime conditions. They try to loosen the cars up, and sometimes you just get them too loose.
Ride with Dale Jarrett through this.
Pretty much the pictures tell the story.
And we're under caution. Coming around to complete lap 6. Pace cars in.
Rusty got a heck of a shot. Now let's see what happens this time.
Ready? Not yet. Green flag.
Ryan Newman, his teammate, kept tempo with him that time on this restart. Look at Tony Stewart. The 20 car pulls right up there behind. He looks like he's trying to slide down in front of Matt Kenseth. Still hadn't cleared him. Now he clears him, gets a good run off the middle of 1 and 2.
Yeah, Ryan did a whole lot better job that time on that restart, and Rusty didn't get quite the jump, and as you can see, he's paying for it.
Yeah, we heard him say Tony Stewart considering pitting. He had to do a heck of a sell job on me to come in up there running in the top 5 this shorter race.
Oh, yeah.
Well, how did Earnhardt used to sell you on pitting?
He'd say, I'm in. Oh, no.
Trouble, man. Big trouble.
At least 3 cars. And more.
Lots of trouble up there.
Gordon involved.
Just look out, go
Kevin Harvick.
I couldn't tell what happened, but somebody got into the back of the 16 car and turned him.
I believe
Bobby Gordon, big
Busch,
damage.
the 97 car.
And the first contact may have been between the Roush teammates, Busch and Biffle. Jeff Gordon torn up.
Bring it back to the garage, soldier. Bring me to the pit. Bring it to the pit.
Sterling Marlin, who transferred from the Open. Biffle trying to get restarted. That's just out the exhaust pipe. Joe Nemechek.
Well, we see that all too often for Joe. That car has just been in the wrong place at the wrong time so many times this year.
That's his second car of the weekend.
Flat tire and nose damage on Gordon. Well, let's see what happens.
Let's see here. It's a 16 car, and he gets turned.
That's his teammate, Kurt Busch, behind him in the 97 car that gets into the back of him. He goes down and collects Jimmy Johnson in the 48, and then they just start stacking up behind him. Look at Brian Vickers in the 25, just getting by.
Well, it looked like Michael did a good job of squeezing through there. Number of guys did, but a number of guys didn't as well.
Boy, Darrell, about every 4 years we have an all-star race like this. It's like a full moon Saturday night.
You know, Mike, I kept saying, though, I had this feeling about tonight. I could just feel it in the air.
Watch this right here, guys, right there just past the start-finish line. This is happening at over 180, almost 190 miles per hour.
Now, listen, that was totally uncalled for, and you can say, well, I was bump drafting, but you don't bump draft at Charlotte Motor Speedway going down into turn 1.
Ryan Newman in the 12 really squeezing Stewart up before they come to the green flag.
Got a pretty good jump on him. Tony's coming back. Tony's got a strong car.
He's going to take the lead, getting off into turn 1.
I think he is.
You're clear behind the 20.
As I've said before, those Gibbs cars, I don't know what they know about Charlotte, but they're always really fast here. Bobby and the Tony both.
Rusty Wallace in that 2 car, he got a good run off turn 2. He moves up in 3rd place. And look at the run down into 3 and 4, and they're 3 wide back there behind him.
They're 3 wide because Brian Vickers went into turn 3 and found he had trouble.
Yeah, he's trying to get to pit road. Probably got a flat.
These guys, they may be making a green flag stop.
They are.
This is all teammates, I believe, that's making these stops right here. Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, and Brian Vickers. Mandatory green flag stop. Matt Yokel.
Larry Mack, you're exactly right. Mandatory stop for the 48 car, as well as his 2 Hendrick teammates, but also the 12 of Ryan Newman was talking at his radio pitting on this lap. He did not. Also, the 6 guys of Mark Martin, they are standing on the wall, impact guns in hand, jack in hand, ready to go and pit that 6 car. They're expecting him anytime.
So the 300 cars pit together, so hopefully they can get out and draft together.
Yeah, the most difficult thing about that whole series was getting on pit road without getting run over, because it almost caused a big mess behind them.
They do leave pit road together. Now they are a lap down, but just remember, all the other cars will have to make that green flag 4-tire stop.
Tony Stewart, your leader. He leads Ryan Newman and Rusty Wallace. Matt Kenseth, Terry Labonte, the only Hendrick car that did not pit.
Boy, Junior come off turn 4, almost hit the outside wall and cut that thing dead left and is going under Bobby Labonte.
Still there.
It's a battle for 7.
Still there. Still there.
Got the position off the turn 2, makes the pass.
And look who he brings with him. His teammate, Michael Walter.
Now, Michael was right up in the middle of all that a while ago when the wreck happened. Luckily, he got through.
Tell you what, just behind these guys, a very damaged race car, Casey Kane in that 9 car, the rookie. He moves up there to the top 10.
He's got most of his damage, Larry, on the right side of the car. The nose and the tail look all right, and that's the most critical part as far as aero goes.
Bobby Labonte in 18 continues to lose position. It looks like Dale Jarrett in 88 is going to go by him as well.
Well, we saw Bobby do this last week at Richmond. You know, car wasn't very good on the get-go, but they adjusted up and got pretty good. And here comes
Stewart.
Tony, on pit road.
And you know, I think this was a good move on these guys because he's out there out front. He don't have to fight anyone. The biggest thing, you got to make sure you're at 45 miles per hour when you enter pit road. No mistakes, Dick Berggren.
Absolutely. Tony Stewart also wants to get the push out of that car. As well as it looked that car was running, it can still run a lot better if they can get this chassis dialed in. Stewart stops absolutely on the numbers, right where he needed to park that automobile. There goes the wrench in the back end to make the adjustment for the chassis. Stewart animated behind the wheel, pointing at his crew, telling them to hurry up, pull the windshield tape up, and they just got it.
12.9 seconds as Matt Kenseth and Mark Martin, the Roush Racing teammates, roll down pit road.
Kenny Schrader in the 49 as well.
Ryan Newman the leader over Rusty Wallace.
Once again, fuel is not an issue, but they have a mandatory green flag stop in this segment.
Does it surprise either of you with pit stops coming this early?
Well, not really. You want to get them out of the way. I think that's the big thing. Here comes Rusty Wallace on pit road. Here comes Michael on pit road. I guess, you know, it's a lot of that monkey see, monkey do stuff, but I guess you want to get them out of the way early, and everybody will be on the same pretty much equal ground.
Matt?
Mike, the 89 winner, Rusty Wallace in. A number of adjustments on his race car. Said it was way too tight, especially down in turns 3 and 4. Air pressure adjustments, shuffle those all the way around, clean the grill. He's down and away, Dick.
Well, the reason that these guys are pitting early is that they have to take a green flag pit stop between lap 10 and lap 35. And in the driver's meeting, there was extended conversation about what happens if the caution flag comes out on lap 34 and we haven't taken our pit stop yet. Well, the bottom line is you have to make the pit stop under green. So these guys are playing the card of when will the caution fly? They've got to make a green flag stop.
Here's the second place car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. He moved up to second behind Ryan Newman, and now he will come to pit road. And don't forget, too, at the end of this 40-lap segment, some of the restart field will be inverted. I'm sorry, it's Casey Kane, not Jr., coming to pit road.
Yeah, when you said Dale Earnhardt Jr. was moving up, where he's moved up is to the top of the racetrack.
And in second place behind Newman. Bobby Labonte in the pits, and so is Jeffrey Bodine.
You know, Larry, there's so few cars running now, and they're going to be so strung out. The likelihood of a caution, unless it was for some debris off of one of these wrecked cars.
Leader pits.
900, second gear.
I really like Ryan Newman's strategy. This is about when I think he should come. It's right in the middle.
Matt?
Ryan Newman peeling off toward his pit box. Some conversation about what to do, if anything, to his tight race car. They're going to pull a tear off the windshield to help out visibility. No chassis adjustments, and also no fuel on the stop because they do have that caution coming up, Steve.
Matt, no fuel for Dale Jarrett, no adjustments, just 4 tires. He said the car's good.
His teammate Elliott Sadler now coming to the pit lane.
Which that will leave only Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Terry Labonte, who has not made their 4-tire stops. And it looks like Tony Stewart in a 20 car will resume the lead once we cycle through these green flag stops.
Well, we get a look at this, Larry. We'll find out. You know, some came early, some come in the middle, and obviously Junior's going to come late. So we'll see whose strategy works the best.
Of the 3 Hendrick cars that were the first to pit and came out together, Jimmy Johnson has left his 2 teammates.
Yeah, I don't think, you know, with the work they were able to do on the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson's car, I think that it's not in that bad a shape. Jeff Gordon, on the other hand, he's just out there riding around.
Junior expected next time by. He and Labonte have 16 seconds over Elliott Sadler, who crossed the line in 3rd. Everybody else a lap down, and Sadler will join that bunch.
Here comes Junior. Did a good job of getting through 3 and 4. Terry Labonte in the 5 car. He's going to follow him as well.
Same deal.
45 miles per hour. You hear him saying no mistakes. You can't have any mistakes on this pit stop.
And this will complete the green flag pit stop, Stick.
And Junior, just before you heard that, said the car is pretty neutral. He has a good race car. The changes that they make will be virtually non-existent. Junior now rolling down pit road. Cuts in just right. Crew ready to go to work. Here they go. One of the best crews in all of big league racing. No fuel going in the car. Just tires only. They don't need gas because they're only running a short distance in this event. Left side on. Good stop for Junior and his guys.
See our leader, Tony Stewart, just crossing the start-finish line. He's going to zip by these guys as they're just now to the exit of pit road. Looks like they're going to come out about in 4th, 5th, 6th position right in there.
And no strategy involved because the rule requires you to change 4 tires on the green flag pit stop. So that's how they cycle out.
The guy that's keeping pace with Tony is Matt Kenseth in the 17 car. Looks to me like he's got as good a car as Tony does.
He actually is a little bit quicker the last couple of laps. And right now, he is about 2nd behind our leader, Tony Stewart, in the 20.
Looks to me like he's closing a little bit, Larry.
Our Home Depot serial score on Stewart. 4th, 2nd, 2nd, and now 1st with Matt Kenseth, Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, Jimmy Johnson, then Ryan Newman, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Terry Labonte.
I definitely think 2 things has paid off for that 48 car. A lot of good repair work on that car, and I think getting to pit road early and getting those 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, you know, those guys just know how to win this race. And even though the car was wrecked, they've done an outstanding job of getting him repaired, and he's up there in 5th place.
And has a million reasons why. Jeffrey Bodine a lap down just in front of Mark Martin. 6 cars in the garage: Marlin, Biffle, Busch, Robbie Gordon, Harvick, and Craven.
Here's the battle for 6 right here. Ryan Newman in the 12 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr. He has a little bit fresher tires than Ryan Newman right
Still
now.
Still there, clear.
Got that bumper right up under the back of him too, baby.
And you know, Darrell, with the invert being somewhere between 6 and 12, I'm like Jeff Hammond. I like where these guys are right now.
Jimmy Johnson just eased over and let these cars through.
Well,
I like where he's at right now. Remember, 6 and 12 on the invert.
Well, that also tells me that maybe the car's not quite as good as he wants to be. They still got another shot at working on it.
I mean, the thing about it, if you can't win this segment, $75,000, put yourself in position for that invert.
Jeff Bodine did it in 1994, cycled his way to the back of the field on the invert, started up front, and went away to win it.
That 17 car is coming, baby. He's a couple of tenths quicker that lap, and he's cut that gap down to about half of what it was.
Now, the leader at the end of this segment gets what, $50,000? At least. So there's a little more than pride at stake. 50 grand.
75.
I'm sorry, it was 50 for qualifying.
Yeah, it's 75, 20, and 10 in this race.
But you're right, Darrell. We've got 7 laps to go. Matt Kenseth in that 17. He is reeling Tony Stewart in that 20 car in.
This is a good track for Kenseth. He's run really well here, won here. It's a good track for him.
And qualified well. I know it included that pit stop, but sat up there and qualified in 3rd last night.
I didn't hear anybody say for sure, but Does that have the new engine package, the 17 car?
I talked to Robert Yates about a week and a half ago. They still, to my knowledge, they have not really got into that new engine package. Mike, you may have talked to someone that told you different.
Well, I read that at least one team had it in at Richmond, and they were going to, as Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes around the outside of Rusty Wallace, that they were going to issue it in teams to the 4 teams in point standing order, beginning with tonight. Now, again, that's all unofficial.
Be a good place to try it.
Sure. No points, not much at stake. Good place. They've tried done a lot of testing with it.
No question, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in this 8 car, we're riding with him here, the Budweiser car. We see him moving up the racetrack. He's in 5th. He by far has the quickest car, but he's 5.5 seconds behind our leader, Tony Stewart, with 5 laps to go in this segment.
What about that second place car, Matt?
Mike, you can put a check mark next to the new engine package for Matt Kenseth. And during qualifying, he said during our coverage that he had never had an engine that strong, and it's definitely showing right now.
Yes,
Boy,
it is.
It is, Matt. He is coming. He's coming in a hurry. He's probably going to run out of time, but he and Tony are going to be they're not going to be very happy with the invert, particularly if it's 12.
I mean, Matt right now is beating Tony right about a 10th a lap. I don't know if that's going to be enough time with about 3.5 laps to go. Tony really gets a good run off turn 2. It's like Matt really beats him through the center of 3 and 4 coming off turn 4 right here. There'll be 3 laps to go in this segment this time.
You couldn't ask for 2 champions with a more diverse background. Tony Stewart came out of open wheel, was a triple USAC champion in the same year, midget sprints and Silver Crown, won the Indy Racing League championship, had a brief cup of coffee at the Busch Series and right to Cup.
You can see his smiling. You can see his smile, baby. Keep digging.
While Matt Kenseth came off the Wisconsin short tracks in full-bodied stock cars, worked his way up to the Busch Series and then to the big show. They're both former Cup champions.
Matt Kenseth got a pretty good run off turn 4 again that time. 2 laps to go. And he beat him over a 10th that lap. Right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that Budweiser car, he is looking in on that number 6 car right there, Mark Martin, because in this segment, second place pays $20,000, third place pays $10,000, fourth place says, see you in the next segment.
Pays a 6-pack.
And Junior had the fastest lap that time, a 30.8, so he's a good bit quicker than Tony. But Kenseth is too. He's about a 10th quicker than Tony. It's going to be close here. Like I said, it's going to be too little too late, I'm afraid.
39 laps complete. They will not take the caution flag as they cross the line because under NASCAR rules this year, that would freeze the field. So NASCAR will score the cars at the line as they come by next time. And after the field has passed the start-finish line, then they will issue the caution flag to end the first segment.
This will be lap 40 they are coming off turn 4. Looks like Tony Stewart will win it. Dale Earnhardt Jr., though, he's going to be battling Mark Martin. Gets a good run off turn 4. Mark Martin will hold him off to finish 3rd. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 4th.
Rusty Wallace 5th. His teammate Ryan Newman 6th. Terry Labonte, Michael Waltrip, Dale Jarrett, his teammate Elliott Sadler. Then Jimmy Johnson, Brian Vickers, and Jeff Gordon. Bobby Labonte, Casey Kane, and Ken Schrader. Those are the 16 lead lap cars.
Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car back there in 11th. As I say it again, I like where he's at.
Now, they used to let the fans vote how many cars to invert. The fans got to be a little too predictable because they always voted invert them all. So now it's changed. Now there's going to be a random draw to decide how many to invert. As random as Chris Myers can be, that's how we'll decide.
But it's still 12.
We'll find out. Here are the results of segment 1 as we're under the caution flag at Lowe's Motor Speedway in the Nextel All-Star Challenge. Tony Stewart and the Home Depot team banked $75,000 as the segment 1 leaders. Whoa. Segment 1 complete. The Nextel All-Star Challenge, 40 laps, and the teams, Casey Kane, as you see, conferring about how to play out the next 30-lap segment and the final 20-lap green flag segment. With the inversion, Michael Waltrip will restart from pole, Terry Labonte alongside, Ryan Newman and Rusty Wallace, row 2, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Mark Martin, row 3, Kenseth and Stewart, who came to the line second and first, will be in row 4. Then the 8 cars of Jarrett Sadler and the rest of the field if they are able to restart.
Well, you inverted half the field there. Way to go. There's 16 running, and you inverted half of them. That's not a bad deal.
Makes good sense to me.
All right,
You see it,
segment 2.
cars off.
30 laps, caution, laps count. Double foul restart, 75 grand to the leader after 30 more laps.
Green flag, green
Here we
flag. Show him.
Pretty even start by everybody. Tell you, Terry Labonte had a pretty good car in that first segment.
Yes, he did. Just good and solid.
Outside, no changes.
That is tightly packed.
Yes, it is. Tell you what, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 8 car, he keeps wanting to try to make it 3 wide back up through there. Settles in on the bottom of the racetrack.
Outside.
Terry Labonte in that 5 car gets a run on the high side. Looks like he's going to lead this first lap of segment 2.
Ryan Newman gets under Michael back there. And man, Rusty Wallace got into his teammate and almost turned him around.
Right into Michael.
I think Ryan came up just a little bit into Rusty there, but boy, that could have been big.
Here comes Rusty in that 2 car, going underneath Michael Waltrip in the 15 battle for 3rd. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car, he's going to follow.
Now, Michael kind of got shuffled up out of the groove, and I think he's going to pay the price. He keeps going backwards here.
Oh, we got one sideways. Dale Jarrett in the 88 car.
Everybody gets through.
Caution is out.
117 behind you.
Everybody got through it.
Sure anybody really touched anything.
Jarrett's going to have to take it easier. Those flat tires, he'll tear the fenders off that car before he gets back to the pits.
Now, yellow flags do count in this segment as well, and you can make a pit stop under any of the cautions.
I think the right front fender might be in a little bit. 10-4, be careful. That right front is flat. Right front is flat. Be careful.
Well, the left front's flat too. Or is it just soft?
Okay, you're going to get 4 tires.
Very soft.
Left front is flat also.
Yeah, when you spin like that, you pretty much knock the air out of all those tires.
He slid a long way.
Car hasn't even picked them up yet.
Now, he's got to be careful to stay on the lead lap because, as Larry pointed out, caution laps here do count. How about Terry Labonte, the 03 Southern 500 winner, the winner of the last Labor Day Southern 500 at Darlington? He's out in front in segment 2 of the NASCAR Nextel All-Star Challenge.
We'll have 9 laps to go.
Green flag, green flag.
Ooh, Ryan.
Tony Stewart spun the rear tires in the 20 car.
So did Ryan. He got the tire spinning as well.
And here comes Terry Labonte up the outside. Mark Martin on the bottom, and now Stewart's grabbed a gear, and he's trying to go in that high groove that's been so successful.
Look at that UPS car, Dale Jarrett in the 88 car. He was one of the cars that
Terry
changed
Labonte
2
got
tires.
Sorry, Terry Labonte got put in the wall over off the 2 over there. I don't know how hard he hit it.
Labonte went all the way back to 12th place, and here he comes pounding forward again on the outside.
He's coming back.
He didn't give up. I don't guess he heard it.
Coming back, he's got a score to settle.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of damage on the right side.
Here's what happened. Watch Dale Jr. on the bottom.
Down on the bottom, runs up on the back of Mark Martin. Oh, Mark got loose. Car bobbled a little bit with him, and they put Terry in the wall. Pretty hard hit.
Junior keeps coming. He's up to the top side of the racetrack, side by side with Jarrett. This is for 3rd.
But remember, these guys back here got tires now, too, so Junior might have helped himself quite a bit by coming in and getting those tires.
Yeah, our front 2 has no fresh tires. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth battling Dale Jarrett for 4th place. He has 4 fresh tires.
Let's go back to that incident from Dale Jr.'s Budweiser on board.
See, what happens is I think he gets up behind. Junior gets up behind Mark and kind of loosens him up right there. Mark does a little dive and gets into the side of Terry.
If he touched him, it wasn't much, but he was right there where you really get a car loose up on the exit of the corner.
Now, Matt, the letters are knocked off of Terry Labonte's tires on the right side. Otherwise, it doesn't look too bad.
Doesn't have a fender up, Terry is telling his team, but he does have an issue with the front end. He says he has knocked the toe out.
Oops.
And that's where he hit that right front against the backstretch wall. They'll be coming to 5 to go in this segment. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 8 car. He's moved back to the high side. I don't know if he can catch those front two, though.
The high side, he's just about in Kannapolis at that end of the racetrack.
There's a lot of grip up there. I mean, you can run that high line down that end of the racetrack pretty successfully.
But, Darrell, what I have to believe, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Matt Kenseth, those guys that got 4 fresh tires, they're watching Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart in that 20 car with no fresh tires. It's giving them a message for those final 20 laps with the tires they have.
Fastest driver that last lap, Matt Kenseth, in 4th place and coming toward the front.
See, right now, that 12 car is getting it, baby.
Matt Kenseth in the 17 back and forth definitely had the fastest lap that time at a 30.28. We've got 4 laps to go in this segment.
You can tell these guys are all driving a little bit harder, Larry. I see sparks flying out from under them now that I didn't see earlier.
Speeds are getting faster. Now Tony Stewart in the 20 cars. We ride with Michael Waltrip in the 15 back here in 5th position. Now Tony Stewart in the 20 car. He's moved up the racetrack in 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's just trying to see if, maybe he can close on Ryan a little bit, but actually I think he lost a little time to him.
Not stopping for tires didn't make much of a difference as Newman and Stewart hold the field at bay.
Matt Kenseth 1.1 seconds out of the lead, but he is the fastest of the top 4 cars. He told Robbie Reiser's crew chief, my car is better than the cars in front of me. I just don't know if I can get him with this traffic, meaning if the car is going to go aero tight or not, Larry.
Tell you what, though, Matt Kenseth, he has caught Dale Earnhardt Jr. for that battle for 3rd right now.
Yeah, I think definitely Matt's got the fastest car of the 2 in front of him. I don't know if he's faster than Ryan Newman or not, but he's definitely faster than Junior.
Lap and a half to go in this segment. Then the final competition caution of the night, and we'll run 20 green flag laps to settle it. Here comes Kenseth on the bottom after Junior for 3rd.
His car is so strong through the middle of 3 and 4 and off the corner. They're side by side, battle for 3rd. 1 lap to go in this segment.
A lot shorter distance around the bottom than it is up there around the top. And I think Junior just to go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, he started the pass back in 3 and 4, completed it driving off into turn 1 at the end of the front stretch. Now he sets his sights on Tony Stewart in that 20, half a lap to go.
Man, he drives that thing down in the corner. She is really hooked up.
So good through the middle when he drives it that deep in the corner.
Car only.
This will be 70 laps, and it's Newman, Stewart, Kenseth, Earnhardt Jr., and Michael Waltrip, the first 5.
See, we got 4 good ones right up there right now. Michael's not too bad either.
As the field completes.
Now that's the end of the segment.
That's what I was going to say.
But I just remember, this is just a normal caution like you'd have with 20 laps to go. Teams can pit, they can stay out. But whatever happens here, that's where you stay in position.
All right, if you're Newman or Stewart, you didn't get tires on the last caution. Do you need them now?
Yeah, you got 20 laps to go. I'd be afraid to roll the dice, wouldn't you, Larry?
20 green laps, that's 60 laps total. And if you had any cautions in there, they could even be cutting it close on fuel.
So like an NBA game where the last 2 minutes take 40 minutes to play?
It could do it.
Yeah.
This is the All-Star race.
That's right. Here's the running order at the end of segment 2. Ryan Newman banks $75,000.
We're spreading it around. Everybody's getting a little piece of it. The big piece of the pie is laying out there yet.
20 green flag laps from now, somebody's going to make $1 million. Ryan Newman was the lonely man out on the racetrack when everyone else went to pit road. This is his 3rd All-Star race. He has 1 win in 2002, and he's going to try to get 50 laps out of his tires as we go back to green and run it all. Newman, Sadler the front row, but watch
Green flag, green flag.
and Stewart have 4 fresh tires.
It's a good restart. Matt Kenseth in that 17 car, 4 fresh tires. He already pulls beside Elliott Sadler in the 38 car, battle for 2nd. Elliott Sadler with only 2 right side tires, fresh tires. Look at Tony Stewart in that 20 car. He's trying to make it 3 wide, going off into turn 3. He has 4 fresh tires. Remember this segment, 20 green flag laps.
Oh, Stewart slips up. Here comes Junior. gets past him, and Stewart got squirreled up by Rusty Wallace.
Yeah, he was getting pretty sideways off turn 4 that last lap.
Boy, and Ryan Newman is loving this, because I tell you, that 17 car, once he clears traffic, look out. And Junior looks like he's coming hard, too.
Yes, he is. Up there battling for third.
And look, 3 wide backstretch.
Boy, look who it is. Where did that car come from?
Jeff Gordon, 3 wide on the bottom, makes the move and moves up to 7.
He's the $1 million man, I can tell you that. He always gets real racy for $1 million.
He gives a spot back to Michael Waltrip, and now Casey Kane pulls alongside.
Yeah, his old hot rods just speed up so bad it won't run down the straightaway. Good through the turns, though. To run pretty good lap times. Fastest car that lap was Dale Jr. at a 10. Newman was at a 12.
And Dale Jr. in turns 3 and 4 is going back to being the second story man again upstairs.
Boy, don't forget about Jr. and Ryan Newman here 2 years ago. 3 years ago. 4 years ago.
2 years ago. You were right the first time. Matt Kenseth in that 17 car, he pulls right up to the rear bumper. Ryan Newman in the 12. Ryan Newman really accelerates at the end of the straightaway. Dale Earnhardt Jr. back to the top of the racetrack in the Budweiser.
Yeah,
car.
here comes that 17 though. He's got the ponies. His car is so good right now. It's kind of going the way I thought it would.
Meanwhile, at 4th, Tony Stewart side by side with Sadler right there.
Newman won't give up, but I think he's going to get out gripped.
Yeah, he won't give up, but those tires will eventually.
Now here he comes back on the outside.
We're open to 12 if you need it. 3 back to the 8 by
One thing I know for sure, that maybe will go down that straightaway, but right here, about long here.
He got a pretty good run that time off turn 4, Darrell.
Yeah, but he's just using up. He doesn't have a lot to work with, and he's using it all up right now.
4th of the way home. 5 down, 15 to go.
I think if I'm Kenseth, I sit there and just wait for him to slip, because he'll slip.
Ryan Newman on tires that have 35 laps on them. Matt Kenseth on tires that have 5 laps on them. Dale Jr. and Tony Stewart trying to claw their way up to fight for the lead.
Yeah, if I didn't have Junior right there working on me on the outside, if I was Kenseth, I'd just wait for Newman to give up a little bit. But he's going to have to keep going, because Junior's coming in that high line off of turn 4.
But it seems like he just can't complete the pass on that high line off turn 4. He just runs out of racetrack up there.
Well, is he really trying to complete the pass, or is he trying to, pardon the pun, tire him out?
I think right now there's no real strategy. I think it's the same way with Matt. He wants to try to get by Ryan, because the longer they go, the better Ryan's chances are.
What's second place pay?
Pays pretty darn good.
Well, 200 pays more than you got to win at $216,000. Sign of the times, but first pays $1 million, and that's a big drop.
Yeah, 115 for third and 85 for fourth, and then from there on back, it's pretty much everybody gets the same thing.
We're riding with Tony Stewart in a 20 car back in 4th position. Been watching him. He's been closing in. His lap times have been mirroring Ryan Newman. He's a little quicker than Matt Kenseth and Dale Earnhardt Jr. right now.
I just think, Larry, the longer they go, the better chance that Ryan's going to have, because the tires on the other cars are going to start to give up some.
So if Kenseth wants to win this, he's got to go right now.
Well, I think he had to run on him. He had him in it where he needed him, but he let him go. Not he didn't let him go, but Ryan got away, and I think that could be big.
Michael Waltrip, fastest that lap, about a 10th quicker than the race leader. Michael is in 5th place.
Yeah, Michael's actually closing on these on this first 4 up here.
11 laps to go this time.
I tell you who else is coming. Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. He's side by side with Elliott Sadler in the 38. This is one of the cars that was tore up so bad early in this race. Now he's up there trying to get to the top 5.
Yeah, he can run through the corners. Car's handling well. Just his aerodynamics are a little off.
I think his car at Bristol and Martinsville looked better than that car a few weeks ago.
Car must have 100 pounds of tape and patch panels on the nose. Kenseth is there. He is 2 car lengths away from $1 million, but just can't close the deal. And Newman, surprisingly, is holding them on.
And here comes Tony underneath Dale Jr. and Michael's right there as well.
I just don't think right now that high line is paying off for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Tony Stewart's going to complete the pass. Jr. runs the bottom in 1 and 2 right here, but he's at the top side 3 and 4. But Michael Waltrip, his teammate, in that 15, look at the run he gets off turn 2, swings to the bottom. He wants 4th place.
Now Tony Stewart has 10 laps to make up 9/10 of a second.
Golly, I thought Michael got sideways right there getting in.
But he's going to complete the pass, Darrell.
He did.
Moves to fourth.
Somebody tell Matt Kenseth company is coming. Matt?
He can see in the mirror the guys are closing, but he told Robbie Reiser, my car is bad fast. The problem, it gets bad loose when I get close and try to make a move on the 12.
He's going to have to take him on it. He's got a good enough car. I know he's sticking to the bottom, and that's where he wants to be, but I don't know if he can make the pass down there without getting loose.
And Newman isn't leaving any room on the bottom.
He's right up to his river upper. He moved to the inside, heading off into turn one.
Boy, I tell you, going in there under somebody always gets pretty loose with somebody on your outside, and then he needs the whole racetrack. I believe if he could get alongside of him and hold him out going into turn 3, he might be able to do it.
And who benefits from this? Tony Stewart.
He loves watching these guys run side by side. Newman still to the high side. He won't give up in that 12 car.
Well, Matt needs the whole racetrack to make the pass, and he just can't. He just doesn't have it. And here comes, I tell you, Michael Curtis got a fast car too.
7 laps to go.
And I think the other thing, not to throw another element into it, we talked about it a while ago, this means there will be 60 laps on fuel in that 12 car, and there's a lot of cautions that did not count in there.
Makes it nice and light, Larry.
Oh, throw another element in there. Go ahead.
Here comes Michael up on the outside. Let's see if he can do anything up there like Dale Jr. was. Gets a good run off that corner, closes up on Tony Stewart. He's looking to the outside of Stewart going down into 1.
Yeah, this is not what Stewart needed to try to close up on the leaders. But it's going to be 4 cars fighting for the finish 5.5 laps from now.
With the season he's had, this is such a great run for Michael Waltrip. This is a brand new car. They just had it in the wind tunnel all night Wednesday night to bring it out here.
Well, the run he had at Richmond last week, finished 10th, led the race a lot, and here he is tonight in the hunt.
Matt?
Mike, he just said again, he goes, when I try to work him, he just gets way too loose. Robbie Reiser said, just keep working him over. Remember, he did not pit for tires.
Talking about Matt Kenseth, the second place car. Michael Waltrip, who restarted 8th, has climbed to 4th, but now he has kind of lost touch with Tony Stewart.
Yeah, you know, getting there is one thing, but that aero push and a little bit of, it changes the cars quite a bit. That's the problem. And Kenseth's fighting right now, trying to get around Newman.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 8 car, he has lost touch with this top 4. In fact, Jeff Gordon in the 24 continues to somewhat reel him in. 4 laps to go.
I tell you what's going to happen, Larry. The 17 is going to have to do desperation here before long. He's going to have to put a move on Ryan one way or another.
There he goes. He pulls right up to his rear bumper, trying to get Ryan Newman loose. It just won't work. But Darrell, we talked about it in the beginning. Jeff Hammond mentioned it. It's like the Kentucky Derby. You'll remember who wins this thing. Nobody cares. Nobody knows who finishes second.
That's right.
Boy, Ryan Newman's car is screwed and glued right to the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh, he got him loose.
Got him.
He got him.
Ryan Newman, he's not ready to give up.
Yeah, but he got him. He got him
Pulled
loose.
to the inside.
Put the crossover move on him. He's not going to give up easy, but I think it's all over now.
I don't know. Newman's got a bumper, too.
Clear by 1.
He didn't bump him. He just got up close enough to get him sideways off the corner down there and long gone.
2.5 laps to go.
That was some great driving by Matt Kenseth, I got to tell you.
Don't tell me it's over until it's over.
No, well, you know, nobody's giving up. But Matt had such a good race car, and he could run the bottom so well. It was just a matter of time till he squeezed Newman up off the bottom enough to get under him.
2 laps to go. He is starting to pull away just a little bit.
10 lead changes. That breaks the previous record set in 1994.
Well, what a wonderful feeling. Pulling away for $1 million, baby, $1 million.
Away this time.
Stewart a solid third.
Low up ahead.
Waltrip closes in. Junior trying to hold off Jeff Gordon. That's back at 5th place. Casey Kane there as well.
White flag. Down into turn 1 they go. Woo! Like I said, Jack Roush over there doing the math. Think I'm going to break even, boys.
Yeah, 3 wrecked cars and $1 million.
Last 6 All-Star races, 6 different winners. Matt Kenseth is a half a lap away from making it 7.
Ryan Newman slides up the track just a bit, gives it his all. Do you feel like $1 million? Matt Kenseth win the NASCAR Nextel All-Star Challenge.
Nice job. Nice job.
Ryan Newman second, Tony Stewart third, Michael Waltrip fourth, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 8 car ends up 5th.
A big win, Matty. Walk us through your pass on the 12.
Well, first got to thank DeWalt and Smirnoff Ice and Ford, Carhartt, GLX, and all our sponsors, Gillette Young Guns. But I was real loose that last set, which was good to be behind Ryan because I could turn underneath him, where all night we were tight in traffic. So it was a good set of tires for that. But I'm out of breath. That's as hard as I've had to race. I got under him a few times, and he pulled the air off me, and I got so loose I couldn't complete the pass. So I saw him slipping off forward. I just got right on him, and he slipped enough where I could clear him, and then we were in the clear. But I can't believe how hard he ran me with them old tires. That was a great job.
Now, you have a Coca-Cola 600 trophy. How does this win rate against that one?
This is pretty cool. You know, I know we won 2 races early this year, but, you know, we had a couple problems since then. Haven't ran, you know, super great, at least good enough to win. We ran competitive, but not good enough to win, so it feels good to come out here and have such a rocket car. Still got one piece for the 600, so the 600 is my favorite event of the year by far, and I'm just excited for this $1 million, excited for these guys, for all the pit stops and everything they did tonight.
A lot of excitement here. The 17 team, he can make room in that trophy case, and plus his bank account.
NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your